Hi viewers, let us have a discussion on group facilitation skills for differentiated learning. Differential learning. Teaching is the process of arousing curiosity of learning in the learners. The process of arousing curiosity will never be the same because of individual differences. We should understand that learners are not variants of the same individual. At the same time, learning must be made within the grasp of each individual learner. In English as second language classrooms, each learner should feel free and accepted. A learner-centered, learner-oriented, activity-based pedagogy ensures acquisition of language by all learners. Based on the potentials and limits of each learner, the English teacher has to adopt appropriate strategies to ensure maximum meaningful learning. All learners are capable of learning the language if they are supported through the strategies which are in tune with their learning style and learning strategies. This means that appropriate teaching strategies must be identified by the teacher. The teacher has to ensure that what a learner learns and how he learns match with his readiness level, interest and mode of learning. Along with the teacher's strategies, conducive learning environment, appropriate flexible curriculum and techniques of assessment are to be designed to meet the needs of differentiated teaching and learning. Differentiation is a philosophy that enables teachers to plan strategically in order to reach the needs of the diverse learners in classroom today. Gregory G.H. Differentiated instructional strategies are designed by every teacher based on the nature and extent of diversity among learners. Differentiated instruction means creating the climate, knowing the learner, instructional approaches, adjusting the learning and curriculum approaches. That is, the teacher must have a thorough understanding of variety approaches to foreign language teaching, different types of English as second language curricula. He should be able to understand the learner characteristics that influence English language learning. Then he has to adopt and create an acquisition rich environment for the learners who are at different levels. Differentiated instruction has been considered as a set of unique decisions the teacher facilitators design so that each learner acquire the level desired. Principles of differentiation. All students participate in the activity. The content and strategies are selected in such a way that each learner gets engaged in an activity which is designed for him. The level of participation and the difficulty of the task may be different. Teacher and student work together to ensure continual engagement and challenge for each learner. For the below grade learner, the degree of help needed will be greater when compared to the one at above grade level. The teacher acts as the coordinator of the activities and manages time, space, etc. All the learners will be engaging in variety activities which will be guided by the teacher's supervision. Flexible grouping becomes necessary based on the nature of the activity, the objective to be realized and the learner characteristics. Based on the learner characteristics, the nature of task, time is to be flexible. Different management strategies are to be applied during the activities. Individual and group criteria are to be clearly established to ensure realization of goal. Evaluation and assessment techniques are to be varied based on the objectives. These principles point towards differentiation in terms of the content, that is what is being taught, the process, that is the how of teaching, and the product, that is an assessment of the learning process. A planning model to identify and implement the most appropriate differentiated instructional strategies, the teacher has to follow 6 stages. Systematically, the first is on setting standards. Through checklist, portfolio, observation and similar tools, the teacher should have an understanding of what each student will be able to do. This is compared with the prerequisites of the student. The second step is to define the content in terms of theme, vocabulary, grammar and skills. Before introducing the topic, the prior knowledge is to be activated. Pre-assessment strategies like tests, brainstorming, quiz, etc. can be used to help the students recall what they already know. Once the prerequisites are ensured through variety instructional strategies like lecture it, demonstration, video presentation, field trip, reading of text, etc. in groups or individual basis, students acquire new knowledge. The acquisition of new knowledge is the fourth stage of the model. Based on the nature of students, the grouping strategy will differ. The grouping can be interest groups, random groups, homogeneous groups or heterogeneous groups. Thus, the fifth step is applying and adjusting the learning process based on individual differences. Finally, learning is assessed through performance, product, checklist or other appropriate tools of assessment. Differentiated instruction takes into account learning style, thinking style and multiple intelligence of the individual learner. For example, an auditory learner will always prefer the matter being orally presented. A visual learner prefers to read and see. A kinesthetic learner wants to engage in doing the thing, and a tactile learner wants to experience thing in the concrete form. The learner will be inclined naturally to one or more type of multiple intelligence. Verbal or linguistic, musical or rhythmic, logical or mathematical, visual or spatial, bodily or kinesthetic, interpersonal or naturalistic intelligence. The other strategies that have been suggested include tiered lessons, variety assignments, learning materials, writing prompts, etc. Anchor activities, activities based assignments for individual learners. Exit cards, prompt the learner to respond to the question in the end of each instructional session. Mind mapping, representing the key concepts in diagrammatic, verbal or pictorial forms. The humanistic teacher, through the principle of flexibility, can scaffold each learner in an anxiety-free foreign language learning environment. The teacher could observe the below average learner gradually reaching the objectives and at the same time see that the above average learners are provided with enriching, challenging tasks. With an understanding of the process of differential learning, English teachers at secondary level could adapt the content, process and reformulate products based on real classroom situations. Researches on the area are in vogue with emphasis on teachers' planning for differential instruction. The areas like learning environment, instructional strategies, curricular approaches, assessment techniques and identification of diversity among learners are being explored. Group facilitation skills. The social constructivist theory of language acquisition proposes that the learner in a social environment uses language for social interaction. At the same time, knowledge of language is being applied in real-time communication. He could modify the knowledge through trial and error and could construct or create language of his own. For a secondary level foreign language learner, these stages of application, modification and creation will not happen without some scaffold. He is to be supported by books, learning aids and other physical tools or learning resources. He is motivated and facilitated by peers, parents, teachers and other members of the society. They should be exposed to foreign language being used in natural situations. Thus, authentic and non-authentic language resources will be effective tool for the beginner. Through collaboration, cooperation and sharing of ideas through the medium of English language, the learner learns to use the language. Thus, acquisition is easy in a group situation and task-based learning. Now, let us see what a group and a task are. A group is formed by two or more individuals who are connected to one another by social relationships. Keaton has defined a group as three or more people who work together interdependently on an agreed upon activity or goal. A task is a goal-oriented activity which combines learning with it. Willis. Thus, group tasks are tasks performed by small groups of people or students from within a class, perhaps in connection with topic, works, projects or a practical exercise. Round 3 D. A study group is a goal-focused group which pursues common goals through cooperation and interdependence. Both the teacher and the learner takes up the role of decision making. Group qualities. The thoughts, words and actions of every member of the group influence others and he is being influenced by others. Thus, each group member is interdependent. Through interaction, a feeling of groupness or cohesiveness is developed among all the members. A group should be highly structured in the sense that there must be group norms and specific roles for all the members. Along with the qualities of interaction, interdependence, cohesiveness and structure, a group will have a common goal and all the members will be working for its realization. Role of facilitator. A facilitator is one who makes things easy. His role can be compared to that of a conductor of an orchestra. The classroom facilitator motivates and develops curiosity among learners. In a group, synergy is mobilized by the teacher and he has to manage the how of the task in lower classes. The facilitative leader is an expert in content and process. The input language and language prompts forms the content. Process involves the instruction and framework of the task. Grouping strategies, duration and rules of participation and presentation are explained by the facilitator. In all means, the facilitator helps the group move forward. Each teacher is to be trained in the process of facilitation. Otherwise, the group will not reach the goal. Facility training on process monitoring, leading discussions, directing, teaching, demonstrating, presenting and supervising and brainstorming will make the practicing teacher an effective facilitator. Thus, a facilitator acts as a process observer and comments on faults made by the learner, makes note of their language use and interaction skills. As a resource person, he responds to doubts repairs learners' ideas and language and helps them follow good strategies. As an editor, towards the end of the activity, the student's product is commented on and modifications and corrections are suggested. Meanwhile, he can engage in talk about the importance of communication, meta talk, and also talk about the task at hand. Group interaction skills. Once the group task has been decided, the facilitator has to ensure the content, process and product. Therefore, he has to interact productively with the group. He should develop the skill of giving an introduction to the task to be completed. He should know how to give proper instruction and ask about the preferences of the students. The strategies of group organization, homogeneous grouping, heterogeneous grouping, etc. must be practiced. He has to manage the task effectively by timely help, warning, encouragement and resources. He has to make the group conscious of the objectives and pace of activity. A good facilitator will be a good manager through suggesting, opining and leading. The fourth skill required for effective group interaction is that of editing the product. He should know how to interrupt positively and how to agree and disagree with the content and mode of presentation of the product of the activity. Sometimes he will have to debrief the presentation for the benefit of the class or make the group redo the process. The ability to evaluate the product on different linguistic objectives is to be developed in the facilitator. Group facilitation skills. Apart from the interaction skills required at different stages of a group task, the facilitator has to develop a series of other facilitation skills. They are effective listening. The facilitator has to understand the level of the learners at the cognitive, affective and psychomotor domains of development. He has to be one among the learners and should empathize with them. He must demonstrate to the group that he wants to listen to them during the activity. Ensure that the learners talk and not the facilitator, and he may provide a distraction-free environment for the group. The tone of disagreement must be a polished one. Questioning. The learners must be freely taking part in the activities. They should not feel that the teacher is controlling them. At the same time, through appropriate, relevant leading questions, he has to move them towards the product. Different types of questions can be asked. For example, open questions beginning with what can be used to initiate a discussion. Questions are always directly targeted at the learners, and so you question can be used. For summarizing, commenting, etc., use closed questions. Example, are you saying that? Handling conflicts. It is quite natural that in all types of groups there will be points of disagreement among members, but never forget that groupness is to be sustained throughout. Therefore, the facilitator must be vigilant enough to identify points of disagreement in the context of disagreements and highlight common agreed upon ideas or language. Always encourage participants to build groups' ideas, discarding individual prejudices. Use of feedback. Motivating the learners for a self-assessment will be of much use prior to a formal evaluation. Help each member as well as the group think and find responses to what did you do well, what could you have done, what prevented you from doing better, what is your future plan. Such forward-looking questions will make the learner reflect and progress. Language and communication. Group activities present abundance of opportunities for the participants to communicate in the target language. The facilitator has to make use of useful expressions, functions and vocabulary items consciously in his interaction with the group. The learners will then acquire linguistic items contextually and try to make use of such items. A speaking log may be used at the end of the activity. Here, the mistakes and errors committed by the group and self-correction done and queries, if any, are noted down. The teacher then suggests corrections and remedies. A speaking log: slips on mistakes and corrections, queries from groups, response from the facilitator. Oral communication between the competent teacher and the learner will encourage the learner try out the correct utterances used by the former. By repeating such situations, acquisition of difficult expressions will become easy and natural. Attitudes and values. In a group, along with observance of certain group norms and group feel, every member is to be respected of his uniqueness. Unhealthy ways of disagreeing and arguing should not be prompted. The facilitator should develop a positive attitude to all groups, and healthy group competition may be promoted to improve the process and the product. But it is to be remembered that there is no best product. The primary objectives are based on the process skills to be developed during the activities. There will be individual and group differences, but every member must be benefited. Bruce Tuckman stages of group development. Tuckman has suggested 5 stages of group development. They are forming, storming, norming, performing and adjourning. In the forming stage, the facilitator takes up the role of a director and organizes the team. A clear picture as to who does what, when to start and how to approach the task are to be made explicit. For this, he should have gathered information on the nature of the participants as well as the task. The second stage is storming, where different ideas compete for consideration. The facilitator is to be a decision maker and accessible, who could share and tolerate different perspectives of the group members. Thus, the third stage of norming enhances an agreed upon plan to proceed to ensure success of the group. During performing stage, the participative facilitator motivates the group and gives additional sources. The last stage is the adjourning and transforming. The task is complete and the groups break with a feel of satisfaction. Thus, we understand that if group tasks are to be meaningful and effective, the facilitator has to play different roles and should possess a variety of skills. A learner-centered, learning-centered and activity-oriented teaching of English language always faces the problem of individual differences. The teacher has to provide an acquisition-rich environment to every learner. Thus, differentiated instructional strategies are to be designed based on the learning style, thinking style and multiple intelligence of the learners. We have seen a planning model for differentiated instruction. Similar strategies are to be adapted by the English teacher to ensure that each learner acquires the foreign language skills. Differentiation raises the question of grouping for tasks. As facilitator of English language, teachers have to develop certain skills of group interaction and group facilitation. Group tasks are to be facilitated systematically to ensure realization of set objectives. Before we move to the next session, please try to answer the following questions. State the principles of differentiation. What are the important group facilitation skills of an English teacher? Design a group activity. Redesign the same activity based on your selected strategy for differentiated instruction. Here are some books for your references. The Differentiated Classroom, Responding to the Needs of All Learners by C. A. Tollinson, 2007, ASCD, Virginia. Differentiated Instructional Strategies, One Size Doesn't Fit All by G. H. Gregory and C. Chapman, 2nd edition, 2007, Corwin, C. A. Differentiated Instruction Strategies in Practice, Training, Implementation and Supervision by G. H. Gregory, 2008, Corwin, C. A. Hope you found the session useful. See you next time. Till then, bye.